I noticed in the late 1980s that Ethna began to be a bit unsure about things that she normally would have tackled very, very easily. For example, she was reluctant to use the electric oven, she was reluctant to use the washing machine, and then she began to repeat questions. And she also began to have some complaining of physical problems that didn't seem to have any sound basis.
The diagnosis was the last part of the whole story, insofar as there were some years before that I noticed a change in Peter. He was not energetic anymore, he had no ambition, a very different man to the man I married.
Recognising the symptoms of dementia is a difficult thing, but actually quite an easy thing as well in many ways. The thing that's difficult is that people often assume that memory loss, that becoming confused is a natural and normal part of growing older, but it's not. The thing to do is to be alert to changes in people's abilities, including their ability with memory. And if you're worried about that, then the same as any other symptom that you might be worried about, the best thing to do is to go and see your doctor and to talk it through.
The diagnosis of Alzheimer's, when the consultant told us, he said he was very sorry, and I must say that I was very sorry too. I hoped that Peter was fine and that it was just a sort of blip on, his health. But we then decided to be very positive about it and cope with whatever we've got to cope with.
It's totally unpredictable, the speed at which the illness will develop. So we've got to hope that while the illness is developing, we can still encourage them to lead as normal a life as possible.
It's about focusing on what individuals want to do and what individuals can do, and then trying to help or to try and decrease the disability caused by what they can't do.
The telephone is becoming quite an ordeal because of all the little buttons, so I'm going to have to try and get a simple telephone with possibly photographs so that he can press a picture, so that he can ring, say, a sister or a friend in that way.
I think we realise now that post-diagnostically, the person who's suffering from the illness should be encouraged to lead as full a life as possible to maximise their potential. Normally, I try and get up at lunchtime to see Ethna and at tea time to help with her feeding. That is the essential structure of my daily routine.
The most important thing is to not be afraid to go for help. Dementia is a common illness. There is a stigma about dementia that stops people from seeking help and asking help. Don't let that affect you. So do ask for help. Ask for help from a general practitioner. The other people to go to right at the first time is to go to the local Alzheimer's Society, and they will provide you with good quality care and support.
We both made new wills and made it clear that in the event of my death, Peter would be looked after through this lasting power of attorney.
I have now left everything to the children in the hope that they would look after Ethna as well as possible, and I have no doubt that they would do so.
I think the key to living well with dementia is getting a diagnosis as early as possible. Knowledge is power, because if you know what the cause of the problem is, then you can start to make your own decisions about what you want to do now, what you want to do in the future. You're preparing both yourself and your family for living with an illness.
Got to go on with life. I've got to be strong for Peter and myself. It's no good throwing your hands up and to say, no, God, what's happened? It's happened. We'll cope with it.
I think it's more having a positive attitude that we're going to do the best that we can, rather than be overwhelmed by the problems that this illness brings to us. I'm talking from a point of view of a carer. It's really an attitude of mind.